how you can solve and fix your content with one simple task, and that's going to be by understanding the difference between problem aware and problem unaware. Look for the problems that they think they've got, not the problems that you know they have. You have a decision to make. You're not going to listen to me speak about this sales issue that you don't have or you don't think you have, but that's the reality of what you're doing right now with your content. This is all about work-life unbalanced. If you relate to that, you're trying to scale a service business, this is what we're all about. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can solve and fix your content with one simple task, and that's going to be by understanding the difference between problem aware and problem unaware. And right now with your content, you're trying to fix the wrong problem for people that you're speaking to online with your content, and it's absolutely killing your sales and killing your potential lead flow. Now, this may sound a bit too much of a big statement, but I can promise you, if I was to speak to you right now and say to you, you have a sales issue rather than having a content issue, and you think you've got a content issue, if you think you've got a content issue, you're not going to listen to me speak about this sales issue that you don't have or you don't think you have. But that's the reality of what you're doing right now with your content. And I want to explain to you very quickly. Yesterday, we walked through the 5 stages of customer awareness, right? Very quickly, if you want to watch that full video, it's only 15 minutes long. It'll explain it in much more depth. Today, we're going to be focusing on problem unaware and problem aware. This is still very, very close to the top of funnel. Right at the very top, you need to be speaking about pain awareness. Just talking about the feelings and the pains and the problems they're feeling right now today. But I want to dive deeper into problem unaware and problem aware, because I feel like a lot of people get this very confused. Now, quick story. And you can probably relate to this a lot, right? In your real life, in your daily life, just imagine how many times you've had symptoms, so the feelings, the pains at the very top, right, of illness. So in yourself, in your human body now, how many times have you had symptoms or feelings? It could be a sore throat, it could be a headache, it could be feeling run down, low on energy. Those are the feelings, the pains that you're feeling right now. You're aware of those pains. So then what do? Do you go to your doctor straight away, or do you go to Google or ChatGPT these days? You search up those symptoms and you ask what's wrong. What could this potentially be? What could the problem be, right? You're unaware right now of what the problem is. Now, this is the misdirect, right? So I'm going to actually create this for you as a visual so you can see. Actually, can you see the bottom? Yes, you can. You can indeed. So let's use this then, right? Because it's to do with problem awareness. Now, there's 2 different paths you can go down here. If you're lucky enough, right? This is the road, and you're here, right? And there's 2 paths. We've all seen this before, and you have a decision to make, right? You go to Google. You've got pain, so you're pain aware. So you go to Google, ChatGPT. You got a problem. What do? You search up the symptoms. That's meant to be a face. And you find out that it points you potentially down this direction here. So this is problem. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can. We'll do unaware. Unaware, right? So what's happened here is you've now been told by Google or ChatGPT that what you've got is maybe the flu, right? I'm not a medical expert at all when it comes down to diagnosis at all, so I could be just saying stuff that's completely wrong here, but I'll relate it back to business in a bit. So unaware, you've now diagnosed yourself, self-diagnosed yourself as you've got the flu, because those symptoms you've put them into the internet, and that's what it's told you. So you think you've now got the flu. So what you then do, you move on to solutions, because you're a logical human being. You think you figured out the problem, and you move on to solutions to try and find a potential product that's going to help solve that solution for that problem that you now think you've got. Very simple with your content, right? But it's the wrong one. You're problem unaware. You believe you've got that problem, the flu, but it's not. When you eventually go to the doctor, they actually say, no, I know you think you've got that, but we've done tests, blood tests, scans. We've looked into things much further. This is the actual problem you've got. And let's say, I don't even know what I want to say. Let's say you've got a broken neck and for some reason it's causing you all these weird cold and flu symptoms, right? Ridiculous example, but you get the point. It's the wrong thing, okay? So that's when they then become problem aware. So they go down here. Well, they actually come from here, back here, and they're now problem aware. So now, then, only at that point, They're going to be searching for the correct content, or the correct solution to solve that correct problem they've actually got. Now, why this is important to you making content for your dream client? You need to analyze your target audience and analyze your dream client to look for the problems that they think they've got. Not the problems that you know they have as the doctor, as the expert, but the problem that they've been putting in the symptoms online. They've been putting in the symptoms into YouTube, into short form content, searching for these solutions to the problems that they think they have because they're problem unaware. Okay? I hope that makes sense. But an example for you might be that if right now you're watching this video and you know you've got a content problem, so you're probably content aware right now, problem aware right now. You actually understand you've got that problem. But for example, with this other service we offer, the Welcome Pack VSL, it's designed for founders to actually reduce the amount of time they spend on sales and increase their close rate, right? So it basically gives them time back as a founder to do better things to grow the business and increases their close rate. But they may think that they're just speaking to unqualified leads all the time. So they actually think they've got a lead problem, when in reality, they've got a sales system problem. If I make videos on top of funnel, short form content, talking about you've got a sales problem, that's not even going to perk their ears up, because they're going to be thinking, well, I've got a lead problem, so I need to be solving my leads. I need to get more qualified leads. That's what they think they need. So I need to make content that speaks to that first of all and say, listen, you think you've got unqualified leads coming through the door. In reality, you haven't got a good sales system to nurture those leads properly, to make them qualified, to warm them up so that this actually sells for you. It's a sales asset that sells for you, makes your calls much shorter, increases your close rate. Bam, the job is done. The problem's actually solved, because that's the issue you've got. It's not that you've got a lead problem. So that's in the B2B example. In the fitness example, when we were scaling PB Academy to over 250 active clients in the fitness space, we had a full team of coaches that done the delivery, and we made sure that we were speaking to the problems that our dream clients thought they had. For example, they thought that it was impossible for them to get in shape because of their job and their time commitments, and they didn't want to follow a bodybuilding strict diet. They had those issues, right? They thought, maybe I can never get a six-pack because I've just not got the body composition or the genetics to make it possible. So we would hook them in by speaking about those problems that they thought they had, and then we would educate through content to make them realize, no, this is actually the problem. What you're doing is the problem. You're not using the correct methods, the correct solution to solve the problem that you didn't know you actually have. So you have to educate them first, not on the solution, but you have to make sure they realize this is the problem I've actually got. So that's the difference between problem aware, problem unaware. Extremely important when it comes down to your content if you're trying to attract leads or potential clients for a service business that you've actually got. So I hope this actually makes sense. And if you got some sort of value from this video, I'd really appreciate subscribing to the channel. This is all about work-life unbalanced. If you relate to that, you're trying to scale a service business, this is what we're all about, and I'm showing the journey as we're doing it ourselves. So yeah, I hope you learned from this, and I will speak to you soon.